Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
This is the call to order and the roll call. So we have, oh, sorry about that. I have a notice here. We have everyone present that needs to be here. Commissioner Baskerville is here. Commissioner Rourke is here. Christine Cook from the county and Tina.
Yes. Tina Redline.
Tina Redline. All right, so the first order of business is approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Did everybody get a chance to look at those?
I did. I
did as
move
well.
approval.
So do we have a, Darcy, did you move to approve?
Approve, I move to approve, yes.
Okay, I'll second. Barbara, are you with us? I have not heard Barbara, so let's make sure she's actually. Oh, Barbara, it looks like you're muted. There we go. Barbara, you there? Barbara?
Hmm.
Well,
That's odd. Hmm.
let's see if we can get her on here somehow.
Barbara, this is Tina. If you can hear me, you may want to log off and log back on. That may help.
It looks like she's here.
Can we message her?
Yeah, do we have a chat, Tina? You might let her know what to do in the chat if that's available.
Chris, we turned the chat off when we opened the meeting, so I'd have to close out the whole meeting to do that.
Maybe a minute to pause. We can probably. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Can you hear me on your computer? I'm on the phone too, so I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Well, we can hear you. We don't know where it's coming from, but it sounds good.
Okay, I'll leave the phone here and the computer. I'm at someone else's house, so.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have an echo or anything, so It's all good.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay,
I
so we
vote
have,
to approve the minute.
okay. And I'll second that. So let's take a vote. Anyone in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. So the next agenda item is public comment. Do we have anyone who'd like to make a public comment today?
I thought that was on the public comment we had before, that we just were going to send a letter asking the county commissioners to make it conform to the code so that we had proper direction.
We do have that on the agenda, but we also have as a separate thing, a time for any
okay.
public participants who want to chime in, which I kind of imagined doing at the end of the meeting, but
We do not have anybody online that wants to comment.
okay. All right, so then moving on to the letter to the council about the inconsistencies. Did anyone have time to develop any thoughts about this?
I just think it can be, this is Barbara, I think it could just be brief, saying that been brought to our attention and reference the comments that the individual had submitted to us, and that we see the inconsistencies, and in order for us to meet our obligations, we need to have it clarified. I don't think we need to go into specifics, since the person submitting it did a good enough job on that.
I generally agree that I don't think we need to go into specifics, although I think if we were going to do the letter, what I'd want to say is that until further notice, we're going to operate under the ordinance as passed, where it's inconsistent with the code. So that
Okay.
way we at least have a way to keep going while they figure out how to do it. Does that, Chris, does that work with?
Works for me. This is Barbara.
And this is Tina again. Can I just make one comment? Kathleen is not able to get on the meeting today, but she did want me to share with you that she is aware of the inconsistencies and she is looking at the ordinance now. So she is working on that issue.
Okay.
And this is Chris. Chair, were you talking about inconsistency between the ordinance and the charter? You said between the ordinance and the code.
Well, I thought we had, where did we identify the slippage last time? I'm sorry, I don't have my notes from the last meeting in front of me, but
I think the woman that brought up had pointed out the two different documents, and I don't recall which ones they were because I don't have those in front of me either, but they were written documents that were given to us at the last meeting. So whether that's the code or the charter or the ordinance, I'm not sure.
Well, ordinance becomes code and the charter is different.
okay.
And in
So-
general, code must comply with charter.
Okay. So then our position would be that we're going to comply with the charter. Although if this is already being worked on, I don't know that we necessarily even need to send a letter.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that if Kathleen's already working on it, then somebody's already taken care of it.
Okay. Well, that made that easier. And we did draft our
Yep.
bylaws to be consistent with the charter, so I guess then we are up to date.
Yeah, on the draft of the bylaws, are you going to that or is it at all?
Yeah, I think we
It's
should
not
go
a-
to that. I think that's a good
All I
idea.
found was some typos and some spacing errors. That's all I saw.
Yeah, same I saw the same thing. So who do we direct that to now at this point?
Well, Kristen is on vacation, but I assume she will be back. But I suggest that you each mark up a Word copy of the bylaws and send them to her.
Okay.
Okay, we can do that.
Unless you all want to go through it and agree on typos, which seems to me like a lot of time, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like two words that there's no space between them or the indent is wrong. So it's not a matter of whether it's a word change. It's just spacing mostly.
And
And
that's,
I'll be glad to send her a copy back to, go ahead and mark a copy and send it back to her. That's what I have. And I can copy both of you guys,
Okay,
Adam and Darcy.
sounds
Me
good.
too, please.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
okay, we can all do that then. So what about next meeting date and quarterly meetings? How's everybody's calendar looking?
Well, we had one in April. This is May, just to tie up some loose ends. So unless there's something pressing, think we could move into the third quarter and make this the second quarter meeting.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
It does.
So sometime in August or September.
Should we try to always meet like on the first Tuesday or the second Tuesday? Just,
That works for me.
That would be good. How about second
So-
Tuesday?
second
Just out of
Tuesday
the blue.
works.
Let's project that forward and see what it does in terms of holidays and things like that. If we meet on August 8th, November 8th looks good. Yeah,
And then we're into next year. So
yeah,
okay, second Tuesday
Second Tuesday.
of August and November. Okay.
Is the commission adopting that as a regular meeting day and is there a time? So that we can say that there are regular meetings and have the notice be a little more sensible?
The
Sure.
2
It's morning
o'clock
or
works-
afternoon.
2 o'clock works well for me, but I'm open to other times.
we talked
Me too.
about doing this, at some point, doing this in person
That's true.
also, or as hybrid.
Or doing it hybrid.
In which case we've got to work on the availability of space. So was that Kristen who was doing that?
That would be another job for Kristen.
Okay. So then I guess maybe what we ought to do for now is set the next meeting for August 8th and have on the agenda for that meeting, setting the quarterly schedule, since we'll have Kristen back. Does that make sense?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I don't think we need a vote in this, but just to check, we're all in favor of putting a pin on the quarterly schedule until Kristen's back?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, then I think that wraps up our business for the day, unless anyone has anything for the good of the order.
Oh, I do. I
Okay.
was supposed to check on appeal process and so forth.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
So I'm looking at section 3.8 of the bylaws as they're adopted, which is on page 5, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would delete from the bylaws parts 1 and, or I'm sorry, parts 2 and 3 of section 3.8.
So section 3.8 would just be, wouldn't be a number 1, it would just be that paragraph, which is number
Yes.
1 now.
Bingo.
And what's the reason behind that?
Well, you brought up the question of whether the bylaws of the Ethics Review Commission can create jurisdiction in the Superior Court for judicial review. And, you know, I don't think it can. People who don't like what the Ethics Review Commission does can, you know, seek review by typical equitable means of going to the court. So seek a writ, you know,
Yeah.
go with a writ of review or a writ of mandamus. So that's number 2. That's the problem with that. And the problem with number 3 is that my boss would never agree with that. So I'm not going to be supportive of number 3. And I am very serious. The county prosecutor views his job as that which is set forth in Title 36 of the RCW, and this is not there.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So then basically the grievance process for someone who didn't like what we were doing would just be through standard like administrative law type of litigation, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
that sounds correct to me.
okay.
Or
Call your attorney.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, well, do we have a motion to delete? Well, I guess this would be under amending the bylaws, so. Do we have anything? We don't have any special requirements for that, but do we have a motion to delete those sections?
So moved. Barbara?
Second.
Okay, those in favor of deleting section 3.8.2 and 0.3 from the bylaws, say aye.
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 Those against, say nay. No one, okay, the ayes have it. So we will, in our typo reporting to Kristen, we will also report to delete these. I think is probably the way to do that.
Good.
Easiest way.
Thank you.
All right, what else for the good of the order? Hearing nothing, shall we adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, and Tina, will you pass on to Kristen about the August 8th meeting?
Yes, certainly.
Okay. All right, we can adjourn then. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. See you all
Thank you.
later.
See you after the heat wave.
Sorry for the delay from my end. I don't know what's going on there, but